Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa and today I'm going to be going over my March paycheck number 1, which is from March the 5th through the 18th. All right, so I am still using the Budget Moms Budget by Paycheck workbook. I actually have the box set, so I have the little booklet for the month of March out. And to save some time, I went ahead and just wrote down all my categories so you guys didn't have to see me writing all that stuff down. All right, so let's start up here at the top for my full-time job. Now, this is going to be the first paycheck where my income is reduced. I am moving to a state that has a lower cost of living. My employer has been wonderful and is letting me move, but it did come with the voluntary reduction of income since my cost of living is going to be so much lower. And so for the purposes of budgeting, because I don't know what that amount is going to be yet, I'm going to go ahead and use the amount that I'm currently getting paid, which is $1,700. So I'm just going to write $1,700 in the budget column here. So let me back up. So with the Budget by Paycheck workbook, there's a section here for income. So I put my full-time job, there's a budgeted amount and an actual. So after I get paid, I will come back and fill out this actual column because I have no idea what this amount is going to be. So we've got $1,700 for my income. There's a box here for income total. I'm going to write $1,700. Moving on to the bill section of the booklet, the first thing I have is half of my rent. So I think I'm going to split everything in half just like I normally would. My rent is $500 a month, so I'm going to budget $250. And the date here, which is the date due, that's going to be due on the 1st. Next is half of the electric bill, and I don't know how much that is going to be, so I'm just estimating. Now, the date that the electric bill is going to be due is probably the 1st of April, but I'm not certain about that because we haven't paid electricity yet. So what I'm going to budget is $100. So $200 for the month, and that may be really high, but I would rather budget too much than too little. Next is half of the internet bill. I'm going to assume this is due on the 1st as well. And the internet bill, I'm told, is $90 per month, so I'm going to budget $45. And then last is half of the water bill. Again, I'm going to put the 1st just because I'm not sure right now. And I am told that the water bill runs about $25 a month, so I'm going to budget $13, so a little more than half. I don't have any, let me go back to my calendar view here. So what I do in the Budget by Paycheck workbook, the method tells us is that we're going to write down what our paydays are and any bills that are due. And so looking at the 5th through the 18th to see what bills I have, I don't have any. I don't have anything due this period, but I am traveling and will have hotel expenses, but I have already paid for my hotel out of my savings. So I've been saving my money over the last several months in preparation for the move, and it's just one big lump sum, and I'm just pulling money out of that account for the travel. And I'll do a recap later as to how much I actually spent on the move. It's a lot more than I thought it was going to be, but I won't be including hotel in this budget. So that's why I only have half of these utilities and then no other bills. So let's go ahead and add this up so we can fill out the bills total down here at the bottom. So we have $250, which is half of the rent, $100 for half of the electricity, $45 for internet, and $13 for the water is $408. So down here where it says bill total, I'm going to write 408. So now we need to know what the leftover is. So I'm just going to subtract that from 1,700, which leaves me $1,292 to budget. So we'll go over here to the envelopes. There is a leftover amount, so I'm just going to carry over this amount up here, $1,292. Okay, so I'm not prepared for this budget. The only thing I did is figure out how much the half of the utilities are. So changes in my budget. I am going to be budgeting for my daughter and I. I am moving to Arkansas. We are going to be living together. She's going to be going to PA school, which is physician assistant school. And so I am going to be carrying the household. Now, she is still working and will be working until May. I don't know how much I will need for food, but in my mind, I thought for one person, for me, my budget was $120 per paycheck or $60 per week. I don't think I necessarily need to double that. And so I think I'm going to budget $100 a week for food. I may not need that much, and that's okay, but I want to make sure that I have enough budgeted. She eats meat. I am kind of vegetarian. I've been kind of cheating here lately, and I've been eating meat. So I'm thinking $200 might be enough. Now, I am bringing all my spices with me, so we won't need to gather those types of things and build those up. I did give her $200 the other day out of my general savings fund to start stocking up on groceries. So I think for this paycheck, $200 should get it. And then for household supplies, I think my budget for just me was $10 per week, so $20 for each paycheck. I'm going to budget double. She did get quite a bit of cleaning supplies already, so we're not starting from scratch when I get there. So I think I will budget, let's do $50. And then gas for my car, my budget right now is $10 per week, but since I will be closer to my family, I probably am going to be driving a lot more. So I'm going to budget $50. For my fur babies, now I am only going to be responsible for my puppy and kitty right now. She is caring for her cat and taking care of her expenses. That will change when she starts school, but for now, just budgeting for my two. So I am going to do $25 per week just like I have been, and so that would be $50 for the check. Next is personal spending. I do want to keep this at $10 per week. I can always change that later on, but I'm going to keep that at $20 for this check. All right, so let's add this up. I've got $200 for food, $50 for household, $50 for gas, $50 for fur babies, and $20 for spending is a total of $370. And I'm just going to subtract $1,292, which was the leftover. So that means I still have $920 to budget. So we'll put that $920 right here in the leftover. So for Christmas, I budget $25 per week. So that will be $50 for this check. fur babies. This is for any vet visits, and the budget is $15 per week, so that will be $30 for this paycheck. And last is gifts. Now, my children's birthday is this month, so I'm actually going to budget $100 for gifts because I know I am short on my gift envelope and I need to cash flow and make up the difference. All right, so we have 180 here. So 100 plus 30 plus 50 is 180. Now I don't have any debt. So let's see how much I will be able to put into savings. So that is 920 minus 180 is going to be $740 towards my savings. So let's just add this up one last time. So 740 for savings plus 180 is 920. So I'm going to put sinking funds total here of $920. Leaves me a leftover amount of $0. So I have not moved yet, and this I'm hoping will be the budget, but I'm not going to stuff any of these amounts. I'm going to wait until I get there. So you guys probably won't see a cash envelope stuffing video for this paycheck until the week of March the 15th because I am driving my car. And a little story time. I did get my car looked over by my mechanic. He, what did he do? He flushed the brakes. He did an oil change. He checked my car out from top to bottom. He replaced the fluids, checked my spare tire. My car was in perfect working order. I picked my car up from him and I took it to the dealer because there was a recall on my car, something having to do with oil leaks, gas leaks, and a potential for engine fire. So I wanted to make sure that I had my car checked out by the dealer before I left on my trip. I dropped my car off on a Sunday, and Monday morning I get a text message from the dealer that says that my mechanic over-torqued one of the spark plugs and the spark plug broke, and that's going to be $280. And I said, no, thank you. I know better. And I just had those spark plugs replaced in early, like the first half of 2020. So I knew that I did not need spark plugs, and I was very suspicious of why they were telling me I needed spark plugs. So they sent me a picture, and this spark plug was broken. Like the porcelain was broken, and if I remember, I'll go ahead and insert a picture right now to show you what that spark plug looked like. So I said, no, thank you. I'm not paying $280. I'll take it back to my mechanic. Well, they couldn't, I guess, send me on my way like that. So they said, okay, we put a Kia spark plug in, but you're going to need to take it to your mechanic. Fine, no problem. So I get a text message, hey, your car's ready to pick up. So I went to the dealership, and I had plans to pick it up and take it back to my mechanic because I don't trust this dealership now, and I want my mechanic to look over my car. So I picked my car up. My friend is following me, and I got about a half a mile down the road. Check engine light comes on. Check engine light is flashing. My car starts shaking. I don't think I'm going to make it. I pull over. I am like freaking out. And I call my friend. She said, take it back to the dealer. So I turn around, go back to the dealer, and I said, what the heck? My car has a check engine light on. And they said, sorry, told you that, you're going to have to take it back to your mechanic. Nothing we can do for you. So I was like, you've got to be freaking kidding me right now. And by this time, I'm about to lose my ever-loving mind. I'm about to lose it. And so I get back in my car. I'm like, forget you people. I said a lot of 4-letter words, which I will not say on YouTube, but I was pissed. So I proceeded to go to the mechanic, which luckily his shop was only about a half a mile to a mile from the dealership. I called him on the way and he said, just get here. So my car limped on to the mechanic and he was livid. He said, I cannot believe that they've done this crap. This is ridiculous. He said, don't worry about it. I will handle this. I will take care of you. At this point, y'all, I'm in tears. And I said, okay, I trust my mechanic. He is a good, honest man. And I left his place. I had told him what had happened. And I just started bawling. I was with my best friend and her daughter was like, oh my gosh, Sissy, what's wrong? She calls me Sissy. She's like, it's going to be okay, Sissy. And I just bawled. I'm making this trip. I'm driving my car and now I have car problems and I've reached my limit, y'all. Just absolutely reached my limit. So fast forward to the next day, my mechanic calls me, said, look, we called the manufacturer. There's no way to over torque these spark plugs. The dealer's full of crap. He said, but the company that he bought the spark plugs from last year, they agreed to warranty them. And so, thankfully, he said, I'm going to put them in for free. Don't worry about it. So he puts the spark plugs in and the car is still misfiring on cylinder number 1. And so he moves is that right? Yeah, the coil. So he moved the coil from 1 to 3 and it misfired on 3. So he ended up replacing the coil. I go to pick it up and he says, your car's ready, running good, come get it. So I go pick it up and he shows me what the dealer did. And I know this is a lot of information for y'all. And, I'm sorry that you're having to look at my hand through this story, but it's early in the morning. I have no makeup on and it's like not even 6 o'clock. Anyway, so he says to me, he shows me the spark plugs. He said, let me show you what they did. Number 1, the spark plug that they put in to replace the one that they broke, they put a broken spark plug in. So they didn't even put in a good spark plug. The whole thing, like the spark plug, you got the porcelain over here, the socket end over here, you could gently pull it apart. Okay, so they put a broken spark plug in. That's the first thing. They had already broken my other spark plug. So that's 2. And that was for slot for number 3. In number 1, they had also broken my damn spark plug, which I'm going to insert a picture here. And there's a spot in the porcelain. I'll try to circle it where it is broken. But they broke another spark plug. And that was what was in slot number 1. So now my car's misfiring in number 1. And my mechanic ended up replacing the cylinder number 1, which is where that broken spark plug was. So with all that to say, thank God for my mechanic. He was so pissed off that this dealership did me so dirty. And what they wanted was to make money because they don't make any money on the recalls. My car, there's nothing wrong with it. They didn't find anything. Sorry about all the barking. The ladies that I rent from, they're house sitting some dog upstairs and it's barking. Anyway, so they just wanted to make some money off of me. And my mechanic was absolutely livid. So he said, no charge. He didn't charge me for the spark plugs. He didn't charge me for the cylinder, for the coil, nothing. So I have my car back. It is currently March the 4th, and I am petrified to drive my car now. So I'm still driving. It's running fine, but I'm worried that the dealership has done something else to it. It's just extremely stressful. But so with all that to say, this is my budget, but I am holding on to my money until I get there. I'm not going to do a cash envelope stuffing because God forbid my car should break down. I want to have all the money from this paycheck available. And so, that the cash envelope stuffing is going to be delayed, and that's the reason why. So that's some story time for you. Shady dealership, which I will be writing a strongly worded review for them because this is just baloney. All right, so if you guys have made it this long in this video, which I know it is super, super long, why don't you guys drop me an emoji down at the bottom, just a smiley face. And thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today to go over my March Paycheck #1 budget. Let me know down in the comments if you guys have ever had any dealings with shady dealers or shady mechanics, or tell me a good story. If you have a story like mine where your mechanic is honest, let me know down in the comments. Thank you again for hanging out with me, and I hope you have a great day or night wherever you're at. Bye.